Hello. I got a question asking how we could find the vertical asymptotes of a function. And the given function was y equals x squared plus 2 all over 7x minus 4x squared. So, generally speaking, when we're looking for the vertical asymptote of a function like this, we're looking for wherever this function is undefined. And it would be undefined where the denominator equals 0 because you cannot divide by 0. So, to set this up, we're just going to work with the denominator exclusively. So we're going to be working with 7x minus 4x squared. And since we want to know where it equals 0, we're simply going to set it equal to 0. So from here, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to solve for x. So you could do this any number of ways, but I've decided I want to do it with the quadratic equation. So let me write that down here real quick for you guys in case you've forgotten. So x equals minus b plus or minus the square root, this is a big one, of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And remember, to work with this form, our original equation must be written in descending order of powers. So to do that, we'd want the negative 4x squared to come before the 7x. So we would rewrite our equation like this. Minus 4x squared plus 7x equals 0. So for us, the negative 4 would be our a, the positive 7 would be our b, but what would be our c? Our c would simply be 0. So we're going to go ahead and plug that into our quadratic equation. I'm going to do that right here. So x equals minus b plus and minus I should say, the square root of b squared, so 7 squared, minus 4 times a is minus 4, times c, and c is 0. That's lucky for us, that just cancels out. All over 2a, so 2 times minus 4. So this gives us negative 7 plus and minus the square root of 49. That's a nice, easy, perfect square. All over negative 8. So let's go ahead and rewrite this. This becomes minus 7 plus and minus the square root of 49 is, of course, 7 all over negative 8. So this becomes two equations, minus 7 plus 7 over negative 8, and minus 7 minus 7 over negative 8. So this first part of our equation simply becomes 0 over negative 8, and any 0 divided by any number is 0, and this becomes negative 14 over negative 8. And when we simplify this fraction, we get 7 over 4. And I believe 7 over 4 is 1.75 in decimal, but you can write it either way. So, based off of this, these are our two vertical asymptotes. But the problem on the homework wants us to verify this using our calculator. So let me get out our calculator. This is a TI-84. A TI-83 should also work. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug our original equation right here, this bad boy, into our calculator. And we're going to put the numerator and the denominator both in parentheses so nothing gets messed up. So we have, let me see, x squared plus 2 divided by 7x minus 4x squared. So now let's take a look at our graph. All right, so based on this graph, we can see that we have one vertical asymptote right here and one right about here. So based on looking at it, it seems like this vertical asymptote is at 0, and that checks out with what we found here. And this one should be at about 1.75, which looks about right, but there is a way we can check that more specifically. Let me zoom in here. So to do this, we're going to press this trace button right here. And when we do that, and we press left or right, we see this little cursor appear. And by scrolling it around, we can see where about on the graph a location is. So we see as we approach this point at this asymptote, it gets closer to 0, but obviously since 0 is undefined, we don't actually reach 0. So that pretty much confirms that. And let's go over here to this asymptote. And what we're seeing is it approaches, you can see that right here, we're going to assume it's approaching 1.75 because that's about where it looks like it experiences that asymptote. So based off these two things, we can verify that we are correct. All right, I hope this helps, and I hope you guys have a nice day.